So this is part 3 of our Chicago Czech Center video tutorial series. And in this specific video, we are going over the events section. So because the events section is complicated, I've dedicated an entire video just on events. So the events section is all the event boxes that you see on the home page. And it looks like there is one missing because there has not been an upcoming event, as well as the one showing up under upcoming events in the menus that shows all the upcoming events. And as you build these out, the first 9 will show the image of the events, and the rest will show as a list, as I provided to you in the emails, as well as the past events, which will show up here. And these will, same thing, the most recent 9 will show up as images, and the rest will be listed out as a hyperlink. I am working off my development server, dev5.webevolutionchicago.com. So when I refer to the URL, just know that you're supposed to go to chicagocheckcenter.org. Working off the development server so that any test events that we put in for demonstration purposes do not show up live on the website. So I'm already logged into the backend, and if you have any questions on how to do that, check out the first video where we go into detail on how to log into the dashboard. The next thing you want to go to is go to Event Expresso, which is at the bottom. When you click on Event Expresso, you'll be taken to the general settings. Just double check to make sure everything is correct. This basically is the general information about the event as a whole, your company. So make sure the logo is correct, Chicago Czech Center, the PO box, organization states, zip code, and so forth. Primary contact email should be either the person handling the event or a generic event email, like events at Chicago Czech Center would be an example. I'm not sure if that would be the case, but just make sure that the general settings do have the correct settings. The next thing I want to go over is the payment settings. The payment settings is where you would go to link up the Event Expresso to the correct payment gateway that you are using. So that could be authorized.net, that could be PayPal. I think I have it set up as PayPal right now. It's going to my PayPal ID. But you would change that if you want it to go to a different PayPal ID. Also, same thing with the logo. The logo is set up as well so that PayPal pulls in the right logo. Authorized.net is also another popular gateway to use. If I authorize that, it'll probably ask me similar credentials. What is the PayPal ID? With authorized.net, they ask for a transaction key. So if you have any questions on how to set up the gateway for Event Expresso, I recommend talking to the gateway who would have better knowledge than I would in terms of how to get some of their specific credentials. But for now, I'm going to have it go to PayPal, just because I know I have that one set up and ready to go. So the next thing I want to go over is how to view all the events that you currently have active, as well as have passed. So that's under Event Overview, which will give you, again, the overview of all your events. So you'll see that by default, it will show you all the active and ongoing. But if you want to see all of them, you could select all, and it will show both the active and inactive. Or you want to see all just the inactive events, you can click on inactive. So let's go ahead and just do inactive for now. Click on filter status. This section here will change to show some of the older events. Here are some test old events. Here are some past old events that have already occurred, December 1st, some in June. And we can also, from a snapshot overview, see how many people have attended. Because these are tests, the numbers are going to be small. 999, 999 just basically means that these were infinite seat events, meaning there wasn't a restriction in terms of how many people could join the event. We'll go over that when we create a new event. What's really nice about these, about the overview section, is that you could, as you hover over, you can see what some of your options are. So like edit, which you can hover over here, or you could, get it from here. You can export the attendees. You can view attendees. View attendees. If I click on that, let's see what it looks like. It'll probably just give you the different people who have signed up. So these are the people who have signed up. You could download the invoice that was provided to them. Not exactly sure what that is, but you can also resend them the registration details, edit the attendees, and so forth. I'm not sure how important that is for this particular business. But I would think something that's would be important would be the ability to export out all the event or all the attendees to a specific event, just so that maybe if you had a third-party marketer or email marketing software that you want to blast an email to, or just for a personal database to keep track of who's joined what in the past, you do have an option to export out to CSV or an Excel. You can also, if you want email attendees, you can also do it within Event Expresso, and I think that's a nice feature. So if I click on that, I could, give it a subject line, and then because these are past events, I could say, thanks for joining our event. We hope you had a good time, and so forth, and kind of just send them a thank you email. But because Event Expresso doesn't specialize in sending out emails, you don't have the option in being able to select, these are the type of people that I want to send the thank you emails to versus those that don't. That's why you're probably better off exporting out all the emails and then using the email software to distinguish who you want to email to versus who you don't. You do it within Event Expresso, it's going to email out to every attendee. As well as, I don't think Event Expresso gives you that much options in terms of the customized look and feel, at least right out of the box and without any coding. So it'd be a very generic looking email. While using a third-party email software will give you some prefabricated templates that will look a little bit more professional and more polished. So, but you do have an option. So it's always good to have options. So let's take a look at some of our active ongoing events. And looks like we have 3 open. And yeah, so we have 3 active events. On the home page, I'm trying to see why there aren't 3 showing up. So let's take a look. This would be some good debugging to go through. I believe the reason why the third one isn't opening up is probably due to the registration. So we'll have to take a look at that. Let's see which one it's not coming up. We got Chicago Czech Center and then a Freedom Celebrate. So the 75th one isn't showing up. So let's see. Start date. So let's take a look and let's go ahead and edit that. And it could also be because there's some unrealistic data that isn't let's see. So I'm thinking it's because even though it's active, it's ongoing right now, the start date has already passed. So let's say this is an event that is occurring for multiple days. Today's the 27th, but the start date, if I refresh the page, I believe it was before the 27th. It's the 24th. So let's say we made it into the 28th. So it'd be if it's 28th to 31st, and I click on update the event, because it's no longer an upcoming event. It's already occurring. It's actively occurring. But now that we push the event to start tomorrow, we should theoretically see it on the home page, and it should be the first spot because it's most recent one happening. So as you can see, it did show up correctly. Um, so adding in order to learn how the event component works, it's good to see an existing event. So the title of the event will be the if you click on the event and get more detail, it will be the thing that shows up here. The description is basically this big text box here, and just like pages, you can add images, text, and you can style this any way you like. Um, I'm going to go down to the bottom, and you can set up the registration date, the start and end registration date, as well as the time. Just make sure that the registration date, the start and end time, occurs before the actual when the event happens. It doesn't make sense for registration to be after the event. It makes sense for registration to be before the event. And you can set up the event date and time as time over here. You can also set up pricing. If it's going to be free, you would just set it to 0. I think by default it is 0 for free events. But like this, for example, this one's $100 per event. The surcharge could be either a flat rate or a percentage. Not sure exactly what percentage does, but I think most of the time it'll be a flat rate for everything. Oh, the percentage is basically the surcharge. So this is basically if you had multiple prices and you want to charge different surcharges because your credit card processing fee charges more for higher for more big ticket items than lower tickets. You can adjust the surcharges through a percentage, and that's something you want to take note too. Is that if you set the price to $100, that does not mean you'll get $100. There's other costs that's incurred. For example, credit card processing fees and PayPal, Authorize.net, Stripe. These are different PayPal or different payment gateways, and they charge different rates. Don't forget to account for those as well. And in order to find out what those rates are, just go to the payment gateway's website. Advanced options, you could put down the address, the address of the venue. That will show up on the event registration process here. As well as we'll go over a little bit more details about how to edit the registration detail. Let's say you want to ask a little bit more questions. You could. As well as you can edit the confirmation email. So after the person has gone through the event process and paid for it, you can have the website automatically send out a receipt confirmation or a thank you for registering email, or your registration has been submitted type of email. So you could put that in the email confirmation here. And I think that's basically it. So let's go back all the way to the top. There's a little bit more information on the right hand side. So if you're ready to have the event go live, you can click on update event. If you're not, you could set it to draft. I know sometimes you want to set up events as soon as possible, but you don't have all the details. But whatever detail you want to put in that you have, you can put it into the system, but not have it actually live on the site. So you could set it to draft if you wanted to. There are other options as well, like waitlist and ongoing. And if you click on the question marks, it will tell you what the different status types are. So that's always an option to look at if you're not sure what some of these criteria are. There's little question marks, so feel free to click on those and learn a little bit more about it. I'm just going to go over some of the basic setups. The next thing you want to go check is the attendees. If it's unlimited, set it to $999. That will just be unlimited. Or you could leave it blank. If you leave it blank, I believe when you update it, it just automatically turns to $999. I'm not sure if that's what the limit is. I mean, if you had a million, people coming to your event, I don't know if that's gonna mess up the system or not. But in any case, I doubt you're gonna have a million people show up. If you do, you probably will have a little bit more funding to invest in other than to invest in Event Expresso. But in any case, Group registrations, you can set that to yes or no, and what that means is that you can have, right now, if you set it to no, it means that one person, when somebody registers, it's just one person. But you can have the ability to have a person register more than one people, so like a family. So if you want to max it out at you know 5 people, one person can sign up to 5 people, I believe, including themselves. So that means them plus 4. So I'll go ahead and click on 5. Is this a public event? Yes. Event status, we'll have this public, meaning it'll go live. It's already live, but we can go live. Keep it live. Upload the image. This image is what is going to be shown on the home page, as well as what is going to show up in the upcoming events, as well as when it becomes a past event, what will show up here. So that's mainly the main image for the event. It is not the image. It is not the event pictures that will show up in the gallery. That's something else, and that's explained in video 2. So I'm actually very happy with all the changes. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Update Event. And I will go to the home page, click on the event. And, we see that it's $100, the start time and end times, as well as start and end dates. I have the ability to click on it and import the event into my iCalendar. The event address, as well as a nice Google Maps link to get directions. So that's pretty nice. As well as information details. And you can see that I can register up to 5 tickets. So that's myself plus 4 additional people. And yeah, that's essentially the event details. As you can see, if I go through this, let's go ahead and do that, so we can kind of see what the entire process looks like. Click on Submit. I'm happy with that. Since I ordered 5, that's 5 times 100, so that's 500. I confirm registration, and I will check out to PayPal, because that's how I set it up. Yours would be a little bit different. I have the logo and everything all set up, so that's really nice. So that's the entire process of registration. What's really nice is the Event Expresso takes care of this entire process, as well as the process of closing events. So if I click on, I don't have it working on the dev site, but I do have it working on the live site. If I click on some of the past events, it will have the event details, but it will prevent me from signing up. So that's really nice. So it sets all that stuff up. So that's details about that. So let's create a new event, just so that we can get a better idea of how Event Expresso works. I'll click on Event Overview, and I'll click on New Event, and I'll give it a title, My New Test Event, and I'll just do some event description, example sentence, just something generic. I'm going to have a limit of 50 people. No group registration, so it's one person can only sign up. No, actually, let's do yes. Let's do multiple, and they can sign up to 5 people, including themselves. It's a public event. I want it to go live once I submit the new event. I'll upload my new logo, and I do have a test logo to upload to on my desktop. I'm going to grab it and drop it in here. It's not anything fancy. It's just a placeholder. Everything looks good. I'm going to save the changes there. Let's see. Oh, it's still uploading. Okay, the image got uploaded. That looks good. Registration. Today's the 27th, so I wanted it to show up in upcoming, so that we could still register for it. So I'm going to create the registration date to be on the 24th to tomorrow. And then the event will be this weekend, so the 30th, it'll be on the same day. I'll leave the time because the time's not really important. The time for the event should be important. So let's say it starts at 7 o'clock in the morning to 3 in the afternoon. We'll have it as a free admission. So it's free. Venues, that's basically generic, so I'm not gonna waste my time filling that out. No custom emails. Keep it generic. Everything else looks good there. Let me just double check up here. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and click on submit. Everything looks good. Unfortunately, there's no preview option for events, so that's kind of a shame. But let's see if my upcoming events. So it looks like the 75th one will happen before. I think that's right. That happens like Thursday or something. This one happens over the weekend. Today's a Wednesday, so this one should be tomorrow. This one's over on Saturday, so it makes sense for this to be the second one. And this one's all the way out somewhere in September. So if I click on test event 1, I'll get the event. So I get the information that I've submitted. And I'm going to go ahead and register some fake things. Now, because this is a free event, the event Expresso is smart enough to know that it's not. There's no need to go to PayPal. So if I confirm my registration, that should be it. And not be linked off to PayPal because it's a free event. So it looks like, thank you, your registration confirmed. Registration ID is here. And it looks like a confirmation email should be sent to my email box. Since I use fake email address, I won't get any. So that should be good. So if I go to overview, I did do a test one before, but if I go to overview, I should see my new test event. Looks like 50 attendees. But if I refresh the page, it'd be two attendees out of 50 total, because it maxed out at 50 because that's what I set it as at. Okay, so yes, 2 out of 50, and then if I want to do any analytics, I can click on. Let's see what we got. I think one of them was like view reports. Let's see, view events, view reports. And that just gives you some stats. I'm not sure how useful that is, but you can also export out to Excel or CSV. That might be a little bit more useful, but the event hasn't occurred yet. This will just be able to tell you when people sign up, how much money you made on average per day, and so forth. Might be important to figure out what days are better to market in an event versus other days. So could be pretty useful. The one thing I wanted to go over is so let's just say because I'm allowing people to register up to 5 people, I want to ask a little bit more information, like first and last name of person number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. Maybe I'll ask them if they have any allergies, and maybe if they wanted to bring a pet. These are just example custom questions that we want to ask during the event registration process for event purposes. So to do that, you would go to question group. You have to create a custom question group first. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new group called custom group. And if this is very event specific, like let's say you were throwing an event for pets, you can do custom pet questions. But I'm just going to call these custom event questions. It's going to be generic. So I'm going to go ahead and add that add a group for now. So now I have a custom event question group, and now I'm going to go in and start creating some of these questions. So I am going to create add a new question, and let's say person 1 name. And I think I already have something like that. Let me just double check. I don't. Okay. Person 1 name is a text box. It's not a required field. I'm going to add that question. I'll keep on adding some more. Person 2 name. And because a person could register up to 1 plus 4, 5 total for the fake event that I created, I'm going to create 2 more fields. Did I always use person 3 name? Yeah, so person 3 name. I'm not making it required because not everybody's going to register all the way up to 4 additional people. Unfortunately, there's no way to make it more smart, meaning it doesn't ask for person 1 name, person 2 name, person 3 name, person 4 name, unless they check for more people. So even if they're registering for just one additional person plus themselves, it's going to ask, person 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's just an unfortunate, scenario. There might be a way to not have it do that, but I haven't found that out. So that might be a good question to ask Event Expresso. You currently do have 1 year support with Event Expresso. I already provide you the credentials, so you do. If this is something that's of importance to you guys, you can definitely contact Event Expresso, see if their support staff has the capabilities to already do that within the menu system here, or have them do a custom created thing. So now I'm gonna add the so every question we add so far are text boxes. Let's see if we can add a couple other ones that are not text boxes. So let's do a simple one. Smoking. Just gonna add a new question for regarding that one. Do you smoke? And this should be a drop down. We got 2 options. I'm experimenting a little bit right now as well. Let's see, text area, no, drop down. So we have a yes and we have a no. Let's probably do no and then yes. No would be the default answer. And we'll have this as a required field. Let's also add another question. So you have checkbox, drop down box, radio box, text area, and text as all the different options. So I'm gonna add one more. This one would be a text area, kind of give you more the user a little bit more to write into the field. So this one would just be any other message. We'll add that as well. So now that we added all our questions, we'll have to put those questions in our group, and then that way we could assign the group to our event. So I'm going to click on question groups. Add new group. I'm sorry, not add a new question group. Actually, we should edit our existing custom group, which is the custom event questions. So we'll go ahead and now we would add the fields, the question fields to be just added. So person 1 name, person 2 name, person 3, person 4, do you smoke, and any other message. We'll update the group. Alright, so now custom event questions should have all those questions we've created. And now we'll go back to our event overview. And we'll select our my new test event. And we'll go to, on the right hand side, there should be an area for question groups. So here it is. We'll check the custom event questions. Click on update the event. Let's click on the event on our website. And as you can see, we now have the custom event questions that we've just created. So what we did was we created new questions. We put the questions in the question group, and then we assign the question group to the event. So if the default questions aren't enough, which is first name, last name, and email, for what you need for each of the events that you've created, you could create the your own customized event questions that will go into a little bit more detail about the registration process. Typical questions would be what are the different people's names, if they're going to bring a significant other or not, if they have any allergies for any foods that's going to be catered at the event, stuff like that. And if you know that some of these questions are going to be asked every single time, then you should create a generic custom group so that you can always assign that group to every single event that you create, and then create another custom group of questions for that specific event if that event has more customized questions. So that's how you would additionally add more questions. So in this video, we went over specifically the events. We went over some of the basic details to make sure the basic details has the correct information about the business. The payment section, we went over overview and how to filter the overviews to take a look at current events as well as past events. We saw how to look at reports, export out attendees, email all the attendees. Then we went into how to create a new event or edit an event, and we went over some of the options that are built out of the box with those events, like adding in the title of the event, the event description, putting a cap on a number of events, number of attendees that could attend the event, the number of people that one registration could purchase, um, the event pictures, and then we went over some of the more specific details like how to create questions, put it into a question group, and then assign the question group to the event. So, any other questions? I highly recommend taking taking a look at eventexpresso.com. This is an Event Expresso plugin, so any other additional details would probably be found on the Event of Expresso website. Thank you.